Hi, guys. Another week of being in quarantine, and we are going to talk today only about one type of drug group because this one I really would like you to, if possible, sit down with your parents and watch the video with your parents if you can. And we're going to talk about the group of narcotics and especially the number one addictive drug out there now that people are dying at large amounts a rate is heroin. So last week we talked about inhalants and marijuana and the exit ticket. Make sure that you do just the exit ticket. You turn that in and you get complete if you do that. All right, so if you could open up your packets to where it says narcotics, okay, right there, it's number 9. We're going to go ahead with the slideshow and just follow along. That would be great. Okay, so basically the learning targets, you can name 2 harmful effects of heroin, and you can tell people about the Good Samaritan law, which is really, really important. We're going to talk about that today. Okay, this video, The Truth About Heroin, watch this. It's only 6 minutes. Please watch it. It's from the drugfreeworld.org, and it's a really, really great informative video about the dangers of heroin and how young kids get started on it, and we're going to talk about that as well. So watch that. All right, so here you go, number 9. Just fill in the number 9 where it says strong drug that relieve pain. Okay, so basically what narcotics are, and that's going to be that drug grouping. Okay, it's going to cause a person to feel like this relief of pain where they don't feel any type of pain. So for example, if a person goes in because they have to get some kind of surgery on their mouth, they will be in pain after. So usually a person will be prescribed what's called pain pills, okay? Opioids. You may hear that name as well. So some of the names of these pain pills, pain medications, like, for example, OxyContin, hydrocodone, Loratab, Vicodin, you don't have to know these, but these are pills that are prescribed to somebody if they've had some certain, maybe they've had some surgery and they're in a lot of pain. Now, these types of medications are only supposed to be taken for a very short amount of time. Very short amount of time, and only if needed. They are not to be taken on a long-term basis. That was the reason behind these pills. But what happens is, and they're only prescribed by a physician, a doctor. But what happens if somebody is abusing them, okay, not misusing, abusing them, they basically cannot get a prescription for these types of medications anymore. So they end up turning to an illegal kind of this type of prescription medication called heroin. And as you see here on the list, some examples, heroin, that's illegal. Now, morphine, and there's another one called codeine. These are legal, but controlled by a doctor. So if somebody needed to go in because for surgery, they will usually get through IV morphine, or it could be codeine, and that is a really good thing if somebody's in extreme pain. So heroin, though, is the illegal kind of these types of legal prescription medications. But what happens is young kids are getting these types of prescription medications, maybe from grandparents or from cabinets at home, from medicine cabinets, because it's, the parent maybe doesn't know that it's in there. So that's why it's important to get rid of old medication so it's not laying around. And then they start using it. They may feel these, certain feelings, this effects that happen with this type of medication. And it only takes 3 to 5 days of consistent use of narcotics, of prescription medications to become addicted. And when they can't get that anymore, a lot of times they'll turn to the street drug, the illegal version called heroin. Okay. Now, heroin actually is man-made in a lab, but it's derived from morphine, and morphine comes from what's called the poppy plant. And it's a really pretty plant, but it's not around here. It's not grown. It's in warm areas, and it's a bulb. It looks like a round bulb, and then if it's cut in the middle, there is a certain liquid that comes out, and that's morphine and codeine, and then it's made in a lab, and that's what heroin is. But on the street, it's very, very dangerous. It could be mixed with other substances. Maybe you've heard these names, fentanyl, before. Carfentanol, where they're 100 times more potent than heroin, and then mixed together, a person can have an overdose and die. Okay, so some of the, and I know that's a lot of information. So that's why with the exit ticket, please, please, please ask me if you are confused. That's always the last question. If there's anything you'd like clarified on that, we can always go through this again. I think with the video, as well as a lot of the information out there, you can kind of figure out how dangerous this drug is. Very, very dangerous, and how addictive it is, and how it really, really takes over someone's life. So the rest of the information is filled out for you, but what these narcotics drugs can do is it can decrease heart rate, slow breathing. So basically stops a person from their breathing, and it shuts down that breathing center. And that's how a person overdoses and die. It can cause loss of coordination, physical collapse. So a person will just and can overdose and die, because sometimes a person doesn't know, if they're inhaling it through the nose, or if they end up injecting it, how much they're injecting, and that can cause a person to die. It can cause severe infection if a person is injecting it in the arm or wherever they are. It can cause massive infection, and it also can cause brain damage. Okay, so this is really, really important. I want to show you a couple things. So New York State, this is the Good Samaritan law. Basically, it protects people that are in a situation that somebody is overdosing. And if a person is with that person overdosing, using drugs, and they're underage, they are protected if they do call the police, so they can get whoever they're with that's overdosing help right away instead of just leaving them. So the following are some signs of overdose. If passed out, cannot be woken up, where somebody is extremely, like you are shaking them, or, do a sternal rub, and they're just not waking up at all. They're not breathing slowly, making gurgling sounds, lips that are blue or grayish. Okay. So you can call 911, and or anybody can, and they are protected. There is some issues, if 911 calls or comes and the police come, and there's other situations, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So basically what will happen is someone will come and they will deliver this thing called Narcan, or it's also known as naloxone. And this is the nasal spray, and it could take a couple treatments and to inject. Either I have one that's IV, okay, or inhale through the nose, to actually get that person to basically what it does is it pushes them into this, back to breathing. Okay, it pushes them into withdrawal. And a person's, they're not going to feel so good, but they'll hopefully be breathing. Okay. And So this is the syringe version, and this is Narcan, the nasal version. So anybody can go and get training to get some of these kits. They do expire, so keeping up to date with that, that's really important as well. Okay, so just to kind of wrap it up with the talking about heroin, it is a very, very scary, unpredictable drug that it doesn't, this is the type of drug where it really doesn't matter who a person is. It really, anybody can become addicted to it. And, it really, really is hard to stop using it, because when a person uses it for that feeling they're going to get, it's not going to happen anymore. So then a person will just continue to use this to just survive, because the body gets so used to this drug. It basically hijacks the brain and hijacks the body and takes over it. So when a person is not using it, they get a really, really, really awful sick feeling. So that's how they continuously use it, to the point where they cannot stop. And it's really hard. And that it sounds very scary, and it is very scary. Okay, so just to kind of, because that was a really, really tough topic to talk about. And, there's been a lot of things in the news about, drug overdoses and things like that. So I put this on there. It's kind of a cool rap. It's called the marijuana rap. And it's a teacher who actually makes up his own raps. That sounds cool. Maybe I should start making my own raps. Anyway, so if there's any questions on any questions at all that you have about heroin or anything else, please, 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 on the exit ticket, ask these questions. Hopefully see you soon. Check out the meditations.